The project we are looking at is located in the largest Arabian peninsula, Saudi Arabia, the capital city of Riyadh. In the Najd region, which is known to be a very hot and dry desert. The site we have selected is in Mohammedia district of the capital city of Riyadh, and as you can see, the villas are actually located within close proximity of a hospital, a school, a mosque, and a mall. The main facade of the house is facing southwest, whereas the main facade of the mall is in southeast. Looking at the analysis of the building, we can see that both the buildings are constructed with concrete and glass, and we fail to see any of the sustainable techniques that can be used to minimize the solar heat gain. Hence, the idea is to use the solar passive techniques to create a sustainable dwelling for low-income people, and the concept used is biophilia, because it sets perfectly with the concept of sustainability. And since biophilic design works with natural elements like water, air, earth, plants, hence neutral tones will be used to make it agree with the concept. As for the materials, the flooring will be of ceramic tiles, since it has high thermal capacity, and the natural stone for the open courtyard. As for the roof, the clay tiles will be used since they are a good conductor of heat, and a parametric roof is planned for them all. Walls will be constructed of adobe brick with the terracotta cladding. Mashrabiyas and green walls will also be used as the solar shading devices and to reduce the solar heat gain. Now, looking at some of the facility we'll be using, the mashrabiyas will be used on the outer walls in the southwest. The flooring will be of natural stone, especially for the courtyard, since it has high thermal capacity. The rooms will be provided with double glazed glass windows and doors to reduce the solar heat. The flooring of the villas will be of ceramic tiles. The thermal capacity of a ceramic tile is around 1000. The furniture and the furnishings will be of wool, wicker, and wood, since that also has a thermal high capacity. Mashrabiyas will be provided on the southwest and the northeast walls to reduce the solar heat gain. The rooms will be provided with the double glazed glass windows and doors for the balconies, and the clerestory windows will be provided for the admittance of natural light. The services like bathrooms and kitchens are all located in the east and the west side of both the villas, and they all are provided with the ventilation system, since they are the least used services. The rooms will be painted with the lighter neutral tones to complement the climate, and the balconies on either sides will be provided with biophilic walls. The mall will also be provided with mashrabiyas, as well as the biophilic walls to reduce the solar heat gain. This is the proposed site, and as you can see, that the villas that will be constructed over here are mainly using concrete and glass, and we do not see any use of the solar passive techniques, which can actually help minimize the solar heat gain, especially in the weather and the climate of the country like Saudi Arabia. The first technique we are using is the wind catcher. Once the wind will enter through the wind catcher, the air dampers are going to stop it from leaving from the other side, and that the water sprinklers, which are located on the top, will collect the water from the bottom pit of the wind catcher and sprinkle it onto the clay conduits. And when the air will pass through the wetted columns, it will become colder before it reaches to the chambers, which are located on 3 different levels: the basement, the ground floor, and the first floor. These chambers are then further divided into sub-chambers, and when the wind will enter into these sub-chambers, it will then escape through what we call the air registers. These air registers will be located in different rooms of the villa. This air register, for example, is particularly located in the kitchen. Similarly, there will be other air registers located all around the villa in different spaces. The other techniques we are using is a central courtyard, which act as evaporative cooling system. There will be the other system like the water reservoir, which will be provided in the basement of the house. The purpose of the water reservoir at the basement of the house is to keep the floor cool at all times. The water reservoir is actually connected to the main canal system of the government facility, and then it is divided into two parts. The first one is actually located with the water motor under the wind catcher. The second one is then leads to the rest of the villa. The pipe is divided into two, where the first pipe leads to the washroom for the shower and the sink, whereas the second pipe leads to the kitchen sink. Once the water has been used into the kitchen sink, it will then drain out into the second pipe, which is not leading all the way to the sewage, but instead it will be leading to the gray recycler system. The pipe leading from the kitchen sink as well as from the shower and the sink of the bathroom will all be led to the gray recycler system, in this case, which is aqua to use. Once the water is collected into the first chamber, which is located at the basement, it is then filtered and then passed on to the second chamber, where it will filter out all the sediments and pass it into the third chamber, which then takes the water again into two different directions. The first pipe will be leading to the flush of the washroom, and the second pipe will be leading to the irrigation system located in the central courtyard. As for the mall, there is a central pool located right in the front yard of the mall. There are biophilic walls located on either side once you enter the mall, and the parametric wall, which has the water fountain in the center, which collects the water at the basement of the pool. Once the water is collected into the basement pool, it is then passed on to the pump room, which is located in the sub-basement, where happens to be the parking as well. Once the water reaches into the pump room, it is then sent to the recycler. From the recycler, the water is then sent into two different directions. One pipe leads it to the irrigation system within the mall, while the second pipe actually leads it to the water tank, which is then directly connected to the pipe leading it all the way up to the parametric roof. The oculus and the flowing water act as a passive cooling system, and inside a lush forest interior climbs up the sides of the glass dome structure above. The dome at the top would also be provided with a screening so that the dust particles do not enter into it, while it will be cleansed in the pump room through the recycler. The main facilities such as the cinema, the adaptive performance hall, and the workshops will be provided in the basement, since these places do not need natural sunlight. The other facilities like retail and restaurants will be provided on the first floor, the ground floor. Looking at the elevation, there will be a total of 8 wind towers which will be provided throughout for the natural ventilation system, and the biophilic walls along with the mashrabias to reduce solar heat gain and to provide with the natural admittance of light.